In 2014, Iraq's senior Shia religious leader Ali al-Sistani issued a fatwa urging Iraqis to take up arms against ISIL. This came after the Iraqi army fled the ISIL offensive on Mosul without a fight. That led to the establishment of armed Shia groups known as the Popular Mobilization Forces, backed by Iran. They were highly effective in Iraq and Syria, fighting in coordination with US-led coalition forces. But the US is putting increasing pressure and sanctions on neighbouring Iran. And some in Washington say what they call Iran's proxy militias in Iraq are a potential threat to US interests here, including 5,200 American soldiers. But Major General Christopher Ghika, the deputy commander of the anti-ISIL coalition, has contradicted that.
No, there's been no increased threat from Iranian-backed forces in Iraq and Syria. We're aware of their presence, clearly, and we monitor them along with a whole range of others, because that's the environment we're in.
Hours after that statement, the US Central Command issued a strong rebuke. Comments from the Operation Inherent Resolve deputy commander run counter to the identified credible threats available to intelligence from the US and allies regarding Iranian-backed forces in the region, the statement said. Earlier this month, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo came to Iraq on an unscheduled visit because of what he said was intelligence on specific increased threats to US interests in Iraq. The US has since sent 2 warships and B-52 bombers to the Gulf. And last week it was reported that under the direction of US National Security Advisor John Bolton, Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan has presented top White House national security officials with a plan to send up to 120,000 US soldiers to the Middle East. The Popular Mobilization Forces are under the command of Prime Minister Adel Abdul al-Mahdi. In his weekly press briefing, he said Iraq wants to play the role of a mediator between its 2 allies, and it didn't see any threats.
Iraq is currently stable. Up until this moment, we have not seen any military escalation in Iraq. Iraq has expressed this to the US Secretary of State.
Iran is Iraq's most important ally in the region, sharing strong political, economic, military and religious ties. Iraqi politicians and religious leaders have said they will not accept any interference in Iraq's sovereignty by any country, including Iran. The conflicting statements about possible threats from Iran has raised concerns that some parties in Washington are exaggerating intelligence in order to build a case for some sort of military action against the country. Now, the US State Department has ordered the immediate departure from Iraq of all non-emergency government employees. And many Iraqis are increasingly anxious that after suffering years of conflict and political instability, there may be more to come. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Baghdad.